Hello guys, here we are again today. It's Mark from LearnTube with another nugget of people development, personal development, professional development, wisdom. If you're looking to change some changes in your life, to learn some new things, to master some new skills, or if you're in a professional role, you're new to training and development, you're a manager that's got a responsibility for developing people on your team, you'll find this useful. So let's crack on. When we first start out with a new piece of information, or we first wanting to change something, we start often from the place here of unconscious incompetence. What does that mean? It means basically we don't know what we don't know. Just stop and think about that for a minute. We don't even know that it exists. So let's say in the sales world, use a sales technique analogy. If there's a new sales technique, if you're not aware of it, you don't know it exists, you're not going to use it, you're not going to get the results, so you don't know what you don't know. So we've got to get past that first stage of not knowing what we don't know. And then we move on to another stage, which is conscious incompetence. All of a sudden, we do understand what we don't know. So we know there's a technique called X, Y, Z, but we don't know how to master it. We haven't practiced it. We don't really understand it, but we know it exists. So then the learning, it's called awareness. That step brings awareness to something new. So the next step from conscious incompetence, also very similar to these, is conscious competence. This is where you can do it, but you've got to think about it. You've got to think about it. A bit like driving a car. When you first start driving, if you've learned to drive, you'll understand this. You first start driving, you've got to think about the gears and the steering and the throttle and the mirror and everything else. And it takes a lot of doing all these things at the same time. And it's the same with any new piece of skill or understanding before we get to mastery. And then the final step that takes us up there, and this comes with practice, repetition, is unconscious competence. Now, unconscious competence is we just do it without thinking about it. How many people have been driving any length of time and can just drive and they don't have to think about all them things like they did when they were first learning? So unconscious competence is being able to do it without even thinking about it. We hand the ability over to the unconscious mind and we just do it. We just sell because we're really good at selling. And this is the point where it stops becoming knowledge that you use and it starts becoming who you are. Well, I'm just good at selling. What that means is you've taken those skills you've learned through this process and you've embedded them deep in your mind to the point where you've got mastery. You've absolutely and utterly gained mastery in that skill or technique. So if mastery is what you're looking for, here's the 4 steps to get you there. Play the video over again, have a look at it, understand what it means to you and the skill you're learning or those you're developing, and by all means give me a shout and we'll be sharing more on these things as well. So take care, happy learning, I'll see you again soon.